The legend is back with another Q&A video. That is absolutely right, Ron Hoffman. And you know why? Because of all of this right up here on the screen. All these comments from people requesting that I do another Q&A video. I say it every time. If you guys keep asking for it, I'm going to keep doing it. And there were a few other Q&A requests that stood out. Check this out. Do a part 17 for all gorillas, including Harambe. Okay, for the gorillas. Do Q&A part 17, please. If you do, then I will take you to the next World Series Game 1. Well, doggiest dog, you better start saving your money. Do a Q&A 17 or I will go mad. Well, Andrew, we definitely don't want that to happen. And so with that, after that long intro, I'm Zack Hample. This is part 17 of my Q&A video series. So let's just jump right into it. Zack, is there a story behind your profile picture and for how long you have had it? That is a question from my man Ray out in Arizona. What's up, Ray? So, the photo that I've been using, you can see it right here on the screen, was taken on July 3rd, 2015 at Yankee Stadium. And I remember that date because that's the day that I gave A-Rod the ball from his 3,000th hit. There was a big press conference at the stadium, and I got a whole lot of stuff from the Yankees and A-Rod, including a couple of signed bats from A-Rod at the press conference, but then security held on to those bats during the game, and then after the game, as you can now see the full picture that I cropped the thumbnail out of, I was down by the dugout, the bats had just been handed to me, and I had my picture taken, and I just thought, that's a cool pic, kind of a special moment. My smile looks really nice. So I've been using that picture for a few years on my channel. Q&A part 17. Who is your favorite player in the year 2005? So my all-time favorite player, Cal Ripken Jr., had just retired, and my current favorite player, Mike Trout, was 14 at the time. So in 2005, my favorite was Manny Ramirez. I was friends with his high school coach. I loved Manny so much until a whole steroid thing came out a few years later, and then I was done with him. But in 2005, it was all about Man Ram. Hey Zack, do you own an Alexa? If you don't, I'd recommend one. So I don't have one, and call me old-fashioned, but I just don't like the idea of having some device, some machine in my apartment that is always listening, always eavesdropping. Because what, I need some machine, some robot to turn off the lights for me or play a certain song or look up restaurants? I have Google, I know how it works, I'm able-bodied, so I can handle all that stuff on my own. Thanks very much. In Q&A part 17, can you count to 10 in another language? Yes, I can, and I'm going to do it in German. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you for asking. Achtung. All right, now we have a few questions about Bryce Harper signing with the Phillies. What do I think about it? What are my thoughts? How do I feel? I feel like it's a crazy contract to give someone 13 years. He's going to be 39 years old when that contract ends. He's not going to be the same player then that he is now. And look, he had an off season last year. Everybody's saying, oh, he sucks. He doesn't suck, guys. His off year was still better than most players' career years. All right, so I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to do great in Philly. The Phillies sold 100,000 tickets the day that they announced the signing. So between ticket sales, better TV ratings, ad revenue, merchandise, and souvenirs, they're definitely going to make a lot of that money back, and I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time. So overall, good signing. Hey, Zack. Hey, Nolan Snyder. Do you think the Phillies will make the playoffs in 2019? Yes, I do. I think they're really going to be a lot better. They've had a huge offseason. They made some great signings. So, yeah, I think they might end up in first place in the NL East, and if not, probably the wild card. When was the first time you ever visited an MLB stadium outside of New York? Asks Alan the Gaming Master 2004. So I remember it very distinctly. It was September 7th, 1991. And I went to Fenway Park in Boston with my parents. My dad knew somebody who knew everybody at the stadium who hooked us up with some special accommodations. So we got in the ballpark extra early. I was up in the press box during the game. You can see me here with Sherm Feller, the legendary PA announcer. I actually got to operate the scoreboard during the game by pressing little buttons on a box, ball and strike, and then I could see the bulbs light up all the way across the stadium on the Green Monster. And that was one of my first games ever, And it's like, yeah, you know, this is what happens to people at baseball stadiums. No big deal. So while our guy Mike Trout was wearing diapers, I was catching baseballs and operating the scoreboard at Fenway Park. That's right. Q&A 17, do you love me? Because I love you. Nicholas, I am feeling the love. Thank you very much. And yes, in the platonic sense, I love you very much. Zack, I have a question for your next Q&A. Do you smoke or vape? Chuck, the answer is no. I've never done either. It's really unhealthy. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Never tried it, and I have no interest, and I never will. Have you ever been to Memorial Stadium, the former home of the Baltimore Orioles? It closed down after the 1991 season. Lots of 1991 themes coming up in this video. Unfortunately, I never made it there. It breaks my heart. My family really doesn't care about sports. We happened to go to that game at Fenway, but if my parents cared more about baseball, they could have taken me to Memorial Stadium. I was not really old enough to travel there on my own in the 80s or the early 90s, so never made it there. That's a shame. But, Mom, still love you. How many MLB games have you been to in the past 10 years? The answer is 917. So how about that? Averaging more than 90 games a year for a solid decade. No wonder I'm exhausted, right? Okay, here we go. This is an interesting one. For Q&A, it's not a baseball question, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. Where were you on the morning of September 11th, 2001? And you can see that I've put this question high up on the screen because underneath, somebody responded and said, this is a really interesting question to ask someone from New York. I hope he responds in his next video. So here we go with my response. The answer is, I was in New York City that day, 9/11, in Manhattan. That's where I lived. That's where I still live. And I remember I was at the bank with my mom near my apartment. She was with me while I was opening up a checking account. And I overheard one of the bank employees on the phone saying something about a plane hitting a building. And then I heard her ask whoever she was talking to, were there a lot of people killed? And I just assumed it was a small plane, you know, a private little plane. Maybe the pilot lost control, crashed into the building. Tragic for sure, but not really that big of a deal. So when I wrapped up with my banking stuff, I went home, put on the TV, and oh my God, obviously it was a huge, huge deal. I was just glued to the TV for the rest of the day, and I was watching live when both of the towers went down. You can't even believe it. One of my very close friends lost her uncle in the attacks who worked at the World Trade Center. Another one of my friends lived less than a mile away, and his apartment was filled with dust and ash from all the debris when the towers went down. So I don't know anybody, none of my friends or family were killed in that, but it definitely affected my friend circle. And yeah, it was, I mean, the world forever changed after that, and New York City did as well. Did you attend the game in Yankee Stadium just after 9/11? If so, can you elaborate on that experience, please? So no, I didn't. My life was a little bit different then. I wasn't focusing so much on baseball stuff. So I only went to 20 games the whole year, 1 game in August, no games in September, and then 1 game early in October, which happened to be at Shea Stadium. So I missed that whole coming back at Yankee Stadium thing, unfortunately. Can I ask you a question? Always. Can I be your friend? Yes. Can we be best friends? Maybe. Do you drink diet soda? No. Do you like cannoli? Yes. Q&A, can you wear the penguin onesie again? I'm sorry, I looked all over this place for it, but I just can't find it. Do you think Mike Trout will lead the Golden State Warriors to a Super Bowl victory this season? You know, yes, actually I do, because Mike Trout is capable of anything. Have you ever gotten kinky with your baseballs? You know, that really depends on your definition of kinky. Do you look like my dad? If your dad is a very handsome man that resembles a penguin, then the answer is yes. How's Jack doing? Oh, our old friend Jack. It's been a while. Let me see if he's here. Hey, yo, Jack, are you back there?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, I was gonna ask you the same thing. There's some people on YouTube that are wondering How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just looking forward to the baseball season.
All right, well, there you have it from our friend Jack. He kind of keeps to himself there in the back, doesn't get out too much, but he's a big baseball fan, just like a lot of you guys, just like me, and it seems like he's doing all right, so maybe we'll check back in with him in a future video. Can you share the Mike Trout bat that he said he would give to you? So, okay, Caden, thank you for asking. A lot of you guys might remember that I did a video last year in Arlington, Texas, where the Angels were there. I caught up with Trout pre-game. He was signing autographs. I asked him for a bat. He said he would send one to me. He asked me to DM him on Twitter with my address, which I did. And he saw me later in the season. He said, I'm on it. And so look at these next few questions. People asking about the Mike Trout bat and did he ever send it? And did I get that broken bat? He said it was gonna be a broken bat, which is fine. I would love to show this bat in a video, but unfortunately, I haven't gotten it yet. But no hate toward Mike Trout. I think he's the man. I understand he's, kind of busy these days, so hopefully I'll see him again this year. Maybe I can remind him. And I think I'm gonna get the bat from him someday. And again, I will film it. I'll do an unboxing video or something if/when I get that bat from Mike Trout. So let's hope it happens. Zack, will you be mad if you don't catch a game homer at the Rangers home field on the hill in center field? I won't just be mad, I'm gonna be furious. I've been to 19 games at that stadium, sat in foul territory for a few, but I've mostly gone for home runs, and I have a big goose egg. And of course, this is the final season of that stadium, so I do hope to be there at least for a few games this year. I don't have any dates picked out yet, but hopefully it happens. Hey, Zack. Hey, Cook and Sons. For Q&A 17, do you know how to floss? I mean, yeah, I know how to floss. I gotta put this hood down. It's getting pretty hot here. Is that something that you really want to see on camera? It doesn't seem like it would be that interesting, but I mean, sure, I know how to floss. Here. I mean, really, that's what you wanted to see? I tell you, the questions, they just keep getting weirder and weirder in these Q&A videos. I think it's time we wrap it up and do a few shout outs to close it out here. So this one is from Andrew Foster, who says, can I please get a shout out in part 17? Also, you are the GOAT. Well, Andrew, you are the GOAT because you called me the GOAT. I think that's how it works. Here's your shout out. Thank you so much for watching. Can you please shout me the out in the next Q&A? That is a question from Adam. That is an extreme way to ask for a shout out, but sure, why not? Thank you for watching, Adam. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Okay, and here's a long one from last year. I took a screenshot of it months ago, but didn't get a chance to share it till now. Check it out. Hey, Zack, I used your code this year for the Brewers on SeatGeek, and I was wondering if I could have a shout out. I emailed you and you said to comment on a video if I wanted a shout out. I also said, dear Zack, I look up to you not only as a ball hawk, but as a person. You are such a cool person and I would fathom over meeting you. And an idea for another video. Could you show your signed ticket stub collection? Thanks and keep up the great videos. So I'm not sure what the word fathom means in this case, but I take it as a compliment. And Brett, thank you so much. Glad you took advantage of the SeatGeek offer. And thanks for suggesting the ticket stub video. You and a bunch of other people who suggested it really inspired me to film that. So hopefully you've seen it by now. My ticket stubs were filmed in 4 parts that I posted over the off season. So thanks to you and thanks to everybody out there for watching. And I want to give one more quick shout out to Kyle in Spring, Texas. I got your letter in the mail, but you did not include a self-addressed stamped envelope, which I make very clear. If you want me to write back, that's what you have to include. So maybe next time. And for all you guys out there, keep that in mind if you mail me anything. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this thing up here. Hope you enjoyed Q&A part 17. If you wanna see a part 18, you know the drill. I'm out for now.